said to Saul, "Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." Okay, so David had assessed the situation, counted the cost, and decided he was going to make the stand. Okay. So I'm going to take a minute. I want to go back and just kind of put this in, shed a little different light over this. Okay? Kind of put it into our existence, our modern day, our life, so that we can see how this story is going to correlate with the battles and the things that we go through. You know, because we all know that the enemy comes against us. And sometimes, sometimes he's big and bad, like Goliath, and he makes a big, bold statement. And sometimes it's just, you don't even know it until it's over. Right? So the first thing when we're facing struggles or hard times is we need to stop, and we need to identify what the problem is. We need to look and say, this isn't my child being a teenager. This is a spirit of rebellion trying to take hold of my life, or my child's life. Or this is the spirit of whatever, sexual immorality, or whatever your kid's going through, if that's the battle. If it's in your own life, this isn't me just deciding to lay at home and skip out of church from now on because I don't want to go anymore. I'll just worship God at home, and life will be good, and everything will be fine. And it's not that you're tired or worn out and want to stay home. It's the devil trying to take your witness, trying to make you ineffective, trying to make you weak and separate you from the herd, so he can go in for the kill. You've got to identify what the problem is that's going on in your life. You got to identify why. Why can't I ever meet any of my bills? You're going to have to do that godly thing called budgeting that nobody likes to do, but I am telling you, it is a weapon that is worth your time. It's a weapon that God has given you because you have got to know the state of your crop before you can know what's going to happen with your harvest. You've got to know how much, you've got to know how much money you have to spend before you can spend it. Amen. Otherwise, you're going to be saying, "Oh man, enemy's taking my money again. I still have 10 days and there's no gas in my car. I don't get paid for another 10 days. Let's say you get paid every 2 weeks. Okay, that's like 4 days into your pay period. Yep. Woo, there's your money. All gone. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday morning you realize I don't have any money. And I've still got 10 whole days, almost 2 weeks to go before it comes around again. Well, let's look and see what happened. Oh, well, the enemy came in and he just stole my money. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. Man, I was doing everything I was supposed to do. Well, except I went to Walmart and, school's starting. I got to buy some clothes. So I went ahead and bought clothes for the kids and picked up some shoes. And I know I could have waited until the next week when it's tax-free weekend and, I got a better, but, I needed it right now. I had to do it right now. I couldn't wait. And so I decided that God would understand because he knows my kids need clothes, so I'll just put that tithe. And I'll pick it up next time. I'll double my tithe next payday. And God will understand that. All right. Then you go along and, oh yeah, that movie came out that I really like. Oh, well, it's okay. I can take that little bit of money, we can take it out of the food budget. We can cut back. We can eat macaroni and cheese and beans. It'll be okay. We'll just take that $60 from our food budget. Oh, well, we got to have popcorn. $75. Okay, $75, that's all right. Everybody deserves something. Okay. So we'll just take that out of the food budget. Well, that only leaves me $35 for food. That's okay. We can make do for a couple of weeks on that. The kids will just not get to go to McDonald's or something. Oh, but I promised them that we'd go Sunday after church. Well, I'll just take it from the electric bill. And they'll understand, and, if I get a notice, I'll just go make arrangements with them or something. We'll deal with that. Okay, you see where this is going, Is this the enemy? Is this the enemy? Is this our flesh rising up?
Yep.
I don't know. You look. You tell me. It's your life, not mine. So we have to identify the problem, see what the situation is. Then we have to look around, and I want you to realize that when you come under attack, when you come under these problems that come against you, it's going to look like there's no way out. You know, sometimes we dig ourselves a hole so deep that we can't see a way out. Sometimes we can't figure out that even God is on our side. We lose sight of that very thing. So you're in here, here's the problem, it's all overwhelming you, and you're going deeper and deeper, and the problem's coming up and up and up and up, and you're looking, instead of this way, you know, you're thinking, oh my God, oh my God. I think that's the wrong direction to be looking for God, right? Oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to do? So you've got this problem, it looks like you're not going to be able to get out of it, and then you go and you talk to your best friend, you know, you talk to your person that, you know, they're the one that got you into church in the first place. They will pray for you, they will sympathize with you, and they said, what is it now? Wasn't it just last week that this and this and this, you know, and now it's this and this? You know, what do you want me to do about it? What is it now? The people that you thought would stand and hold your arms up, you know, be your Aaron in this situation, you know, they're just saying, it's just you, Ian. You know, it's just you, and it's just, there's just nothing I can do, and I'm tired of hearing your problems, and they don't stand with you. They don't fight with you. They just send you on, much like David's brothers did with him. You know, David's brother said, what are you doing here? I know your pride. I know your insolence. I know your heart in this situation. You didn't come out for any reason except to glory in the battle. You know, you're a teenager. Let's say that. And you just want to come and you just want to, you know, get off with the fighting. You just want to watch the fighting and everything and get a thrill out of it. You know, and David knew his heart. He said, what did I do now? And that little statement right there, if he would have said, what did I do, it would have been different. But he said, what did I do now? Letting you know that it's not the first time. His brothers, who should have stood with him, who should have known his character, who should have known what he was like, it was not the first time that they came against him in a situation. Okay. Now, David, so now we have looked at our situation. We've identified what the problem is. We've realized that we're going to have to face it alone because no one's going to go in with us. You know, David realized he's going to have to face it alone because obviously, you know, his brother's not with him. He didn't see anybody else in the army of God going out there to fight, you know, going out to stand against the Philistine. You know, he's going to have to go it alone. So now we have to decide, are we going to fight? Or are we just going to run from this and better luck next time? You know, we'll just not deal with this problem. We'll get the next one that comes down the road. You know, what are we going to do? Well, we need to look at what our problem is that we're facing. And we need to decide, what's the benefit I'm going to get from fighting this giant? What's the benefit that I'm going to get from coming against this thing that's in my life? How is it going to help me? Am I going to, you know, if we're fighting against unfaithfulness, and what's our benefit of defeating that? How is that going to benefit us? Well, I mean, you know, obviously you're going to gain a little bit of faithfulness, and that's going to spill over in every area with your spouse, with your finances, with your boss, your job, your work, your church, the things that you do in church. You know, there's a big benefit to fighting against that, enemy. What if it's, maybe it's my kids and they're having a struggle in some situation? What's the benefit of fighting and fighting against that attack? Well, you're going to help your children learn discipline. You're going to help them to learn self-control. You're going to help them to learn reliance on something other than themselves. You know, there's a big benefit in helping your kids fight the battles that are coming against them and helping them to recognize that it may not be because, it may not be that they're bisexual or homosexual. It may be that they are in their sexual development, that they're going through their time where they're becoming aware of how God designed their bodies to feel things and to respond to stimulation, and they're not mature in that area yet. You can be a benefit to them. You can help them to explore the plans of the enemy against the sexuality of man. You can help them to decipher or determine God's plan in their life in that area. You can help them to develop plans of attack against the enemy. And I just want to do a side note here and say, if your kids are struggling through that, don't write them off. Don't cast them aside. Don't beat them down and demean them, because, think about your own life. And I'm sure there were times when you didn't know. There were times, maybe not over your sexuality, but maybe over addictions, maybe over being uncontrolled in your mouth. I know, none of you, but I know that I had a problem with my mouth when I was young. And when I was giving birth to Christopher, my doctor threatened to walk out of the delivery if I didn't clean up my language. Oh. That's a true story, and that's awful. But, God got a hold of me a few years down the road, and my language cleared up. But that's terrible that your doctor's going to threaten to walk out of your delivery because you don't have control over your mouth. So before you judge your children over their struggles, remember the struggles you've had yourself. Okay, going on. So know that you've got to figure out what the benefit is. How is this going to help? How is fighting this battle going to help? Going to bring something better. And then you've got to know that not everybody's going to be with you. You just got to accept that. You can't allow that trick of the enemy to keep you from standing against your adversary. Right. You cannot allow the fear of abandonment from your friends or abandonment from your support to keep you from standing. Because in the end, it's just you and God. Yeah. In the end, it's just you and God against whatever's coming against you. And sure, it's great if you had a whole pile of witnesses, if you had a whole church family, if you had, your best friends and everybody you knew, and half of Ponca City and all your Facebook friends, and, Twitter and Instagram and whatever else is out there that you can put your problems on. If they all stood, agreed, and fought with you. But don't expect it. No. Because it's just not the nature of man. Yeah. It's just not how people are. Some will stand, but just expect that somebody is going to speak down into your situation. Somebody is going to tell you how it's not going to work. Somebody is going to say you're crazy for even trying. Don't you know that people are born homosexuals? Why are you even standing against that? Why are you even talking about it? You're going to hear all kinds of stuff. So know that not everybody's going to be for you in your situation. Then, once you decide you're standing, you're going to have to fight your own fight. So let's pick up in verse 33. Saul said to David, "You're not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are a youth, and he's a man of war from his youth." Okay, there's that opposition. Somebody telling you you can't. David said, "Your servant used to keep his father